Okay, here we go. We have joined an M15 8-4. My name is Denis. As I'm sure you all know, I'm drafting by myself today. I'm doing my very first Stran draft in M15. I decided not to do one of my random fun drafts and just do a normal 8-4 and see how we get on. Now, our rare is unfortunately a junker, but the most powerful common in the set is in our pack. However, white is a little bit overdrafted purely because Triplicate Spirits and Sanctified Charge and Raise the Alarm and blah 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 and the White Paragon are all so powerful. That being said, the other cards in this pack, there's nothing amazing. If one of these was a Cone of Flame, I'd consider taking that instead. Or if even there was a Lightning Strike. But the cards are like Borderland Marauder, Generator Servant, maybe a Resco Swiftclaw that come up against Triplicate Spirits. And Triplicate Spirits is just so much more powerful that I think it's worth taking, even though white is never ever open. With white, you typically want to pair green, and if we were to go hard on white green Convoke, Living Totem would fit fantastically in our deck. Of note, the rare is missing here. Other than that, Welkin Turn's powerful, Carrion Crow is powerful, Red Paragon's quite good, so is Generator Servant, so is Krenka's Enforcer. Fair few good red cards in the pack. There is a Welkin Turn. The white cards aren't that exciting. I don't really want to go near this red because we're passing a lot of red here, and red is the strongest color in the set, not counting white. Red has more overtly powerful cards just because it has so much burn. White is the most synergistic. Living Totem is always a solid card. I'm passing a lot of good red here, I'm aware. I could see taking the Welkin Turn, but I'm going to hedge a little on Convoke working out for us. In that vein, we could just snag up this Willforged Golem. It's colorless. It'll go in any deck we take, or any deck we end up with. So we have a rare and a common missing here. M15 Pathmage is probably the strongest card in the pack, though I think it's actually pretty close with Willforged Golem if you can get him out early. I'm going to snap up the Golem because I'm not super sure what our colors are yet. We do have 3 cards now that have Convoke on them. And in that vein, Ding, Raise the Alarm. There's another Living Totem here, but Raise the Alarms are so important with these kinds of spells in your deck. Coral Barrier is also super good, but we want to be in green-white. We can get Living Totems. You really can't get Raise the Alarms. They're that powerful. I'm just going to take it here. So it doesn't look like the green-white Convoke deck is too closed off. We have the, if we could open, to be honest, to get a second Triplicate Spirits, we're either going to open it or we're going to get past it once. We're never going to, you don't get them third pick. You just don't. It's that good. Another fantastic card for us would be the White Paragon. Sanctified Charge is also very good. I must admit, we're not married to the green. The white does pair, obviously, best with green because you can get Living Totems and Siege Worms and things. But it pairs just as well with blue and red. But green is really where you want to be because you can cast these guys on turn 3. You know, if you like, you can cast these guys on turn 3 reliably. But if you, what do you want here? Best card's probably Inferno Fist, but we passed a lot of good red. Pillar of Light's actually fine. It hits a lot of good stuff. I like it more than most people do. I think we really want to try and cut white hard. Ding, Sanctified Charge or Charging Rhino. Of the 2 charges, Sanctified Charge is definitely the stronger one. We already have pieces of it that go well with it. What I was going to say was, if you get a 1-drop, I guess we take Soulmender here. None of these cards are that exciting. And Soulmender is a 1-drop. I was going to say, if you get a 1-drop and then you cast Raise the Alarm, you can turn 3 your Triplicate Spirits, which is just bonkers. Satyr Wayfinder actually goes quite well in the Convoke deck because he digs you to your land 90% of the time, or so you'll hit a land off Satyr Wayfinder. And he also just is a body to Convoke with or to have Sanctified Charge be cast on. I guess we take him. I could have seen taking the Creds Fair that we've passed a lot of good red cards. So I don't really want to go down that road. I may be getting too much tunnel vision on the green-white Convoke deck here, but it's a deck that I haven't gotten a chance to draft in a long time just because it's so popular. And I really want to have a crack at it here. While we do want to win, and when I play an 8-4s, I do want to win, I also want to have fun, especially if I'm filming it. If I draft a boring deck, I won't be interesting to watch. Whereas if we get to, Convoke out a million things super early, it's going to be a more fun video. That being said, personally, I don't really care what I draft so long as I win. But that's just me. Not a lot left in the pack. I'm going to take this Sliver Hive in case we get a Constricting Sliver, because that is the only time you want to run one of those, because it's bonkers and you just get to pay 6 mana, or well 5 and this land, to make a 1/1 Fiend Hunter, which is amazing. We're not excited about the Soul Mender. The 1-drops you want in the Green White Convoke deck are, I guess I'll take it and put it on the board for now. Our Sunblade Elf obviously is amazing, but Selfless Cathar, really, and obviously Elvish Mystic's fine too. Griffin's just a fine role player. Boomweaver Giant's only good if you have look, we have a Markbinder, but that's not that amazing because there's a 7-drop. It's only really good if you have Spectral Ward, or it's okay if you're in red with Burning Anger too, although it is only a 3/3. Bloodhost is a little late. Void Snare is mediocre. You really want to be very, very aggressive tempo to take advantage of it. So I'm going to snag this Plummet up. Okay, we got some good cards for the deck. We got Sanctified Charge, Triplicate Spirits, Willforged Golem, Living Totem, and Raise the Alarm, which are all key cards in the deck. Like, to be honest, if pack 2 and 3 go this way, we're golden. Pack 2 should be a little better, I think, because we cut all the white cards for the deck. Ooh, a Twin Grove. Now, I was going to snap up that Geist of the Moors just because it's such an aggressive, powerful card. But Twin Grove is really good. That being said, because we only have 2 green cards, unless we radically shift and start taking green cards, you really want to be heavy green with this card. You want to be running like 10 forests, 7, in our case, plains. So unfortunately, as powerful as this is, I think the pick is the Geist of the Moors, which is by no means a bad card. Like, I was excited to see this until I noticed the foil Twin Grove. And yeah, Twin Grove makes 2 creatures, which is better for Convoke, but it does it on turn 6. So at that point, you can just cast all these spells anyway. I'm just going to take this Geist of the Moors. I think if we're going to be in green, which we're also still not married to, it's definitely going to be a secondary color to our white, which makes the Twin Grove actually not that good. Someone's going to be very happy to get it, but that person is not us, I don't think. Rare is missing here. This is a crappy pack. Curd Chieftain's obviously amazing. I think I might just take this Netcaster Spider. It's a very efficient card. It's very good. It's very good to have tech like that against flyers. We're sort of in green. It's an excellent blocker. 2/3s are very well positioned in the format. I'm sad to see that Curd Chieftain go. We could take it and move into red, but I don't want to touch red just because it's so popular. Sunblade Elf. Perfect. That's amazing. I mean, I really want another Raise the Alarm, and I would actually run this Soul Mender. Court of Calling is not amazing and limited. Welkin Turn and from Pathmager are both very good. We don't have anything bar the Marked by Honor to get with this thing. Titanic Growth is a great card. Not the best in the tokens deck, but it's still good. But Sunblade Elf is just perfect. Here, Gargoyle Sentinel is okay, Venom Sliver is okay, but we just want to Rescue Swiftclaw, I think. It's a 2-drop that can act like a 4-drop just because it's got 3 power. It will trade for a lot of stuff. That's a good pickup. Skirmisher, Titanic Growth, Reclamation Sage. Now, it's between Skirmisher and Sage for me here. We do have the Sliver land, so we could snag up the Hive Lord. That's actually worth a lot in paper. I don't think it's worth very much online, though. I'll check, but it's worth a fair whack in paper. Otherwise, I think I'm going to take this Sage. We have a fair whack of good 2-drops, and Kinspell Skirmisher isn't amazing, and Sage is good to have against that kind of thing. I'm just checking on my phone so you guys don't have to watch me look it up. I'm not going to get there in time. But we're going to let it go because Reclamation Sage is a nice card. But it was worth... it's tough between Cathar and Totem here. I think we take Totem. We already have 2 good 1-drops and a couple of 2-drops. Obviously, the Cathar is very good with Triplicate Spirits, but casting Totems early is really what you want to do. And plus, we can make our 2/2s into 3/3s, blah, blah, blah. It's only worth $1.60 online. I'm not too fussed about that. I can take the Totem over the Cathar here. Bear's fine. Probably just better than Wayfinder. For my money. Charging Rhino is playable. Ephemeral Shields is okay too. In tokens, you don't really want to be saving stuff, so I'm going to take the Rhino. Our creatures are quote-unquote expendable, so the Ephemeral Shields isn't fantastic for us. Let's pull out our non-creature spells. This is obviously a creature, even though it's type. Like, mostly I mean spells that we're not going to cast on that turn. So we're not probably going to turn 5 Sanctified Charge. Triplicate Spirits we can hopefully do on turn 4. Living Totem, presumably at least one of them on turn 3. Golem then easily on turn 4 or 5. So that's nice, that looks good. Wall of Essence is actually quite a powerful card. I'm going to bring it in here. Our build looks a little more aggressive, but it's a great way to shore up the game, which lets us just draw the lands and the creatures to start convoking out a million things. So I think we might actually main deck it. It's so difficult to attack into. It's just so hard. So honestly, cards we're looking for now are, I would like one more Sanctified Charge. I'll take any removal, like I'll take a Devouring Light or whatever. I could run one more Living Totem, I think. 3 would be okay. I could run another Willforged Golem. Obviously, we want to get, I'll run 3 more of these, to be perfectly honest. And a White Paragon would be very, very good for us. We want more Raise the Alarms. Shaman of Spring is totally playable. I prefer it to Wall of Mulch, even though they have a similar effect. I'm going to put it on the board for now, because we're already at 13 creatures, and it's actually 15 creatures. The Green White Convoke deck just tend to have a million creatures. We can take a growth. We can even run it. It's great for punching through damage. Like in a tokens deck where you swing out with 5 1/1s or whatever, that growth ends up being used either to take down something you can't beat otherwise, like a soul, or pardon me, a soul, or a like a Night Fire Giant or something, or when you attack with a bunch of little things, it ends up being acting a lot more like a Lava Axe, where you just use it to deal 4 to your opponent, which is relevant, obviously. So we really, oh god, Ornithopter. We really want to open another Triplicate Spirit here. That will be perfect, and it will make me very, very happy with the deck. Obviously, I mean, we'd also like to just open like Soul of Theros or whatever, but I would also settle for a Nissa. Swamp is not what I had in mind. Okay, pack 3. Here we go. What do we get? What am I gonna get for Christmas? We are going to get Chief Engineer, Dauntless River Marshal, Razorfoot Griffin, and Solemn Offering, and a Carnivorous Moss Beast. This is so terrible. Boo! I'm going to take this River Marshal. If we get an Evolving Wilds, we can chuck an island in the deck. But that's miserable. Oh, this isn't much better. Life's Legacy doesn't do anything in our deck. I guess we can sack one of these guys. Scavenger doesn't do anything. Sage is underwhelming. I can take the Skirmisher, I guess. Jeez, come on. Stop it, deck. Razorfoot Griffin, I suppose. Another Curd Chieftain Shadow Club going by. Ugh. I think we want this more than we want the Rhino. Or we want a second Rhino. You should be here. You're a... oh yeah, you're not actually a 6-drop. There we go. Cathar. Cool, I'll take a Cathar. We really need another one of these to make this deck pop. We're obviously not going to get another one of these. We could, in theory, still get a White Paragon, but I don't think it's very likely. We really want another one of these, though. And it's a common. Give it to me. Give me the Sanctified Charge. Come on, please. I mean, this and this act... like, not the Summon, the Cathar. The Cathar and the Sunblade off do similar things, so... This has been an extremely disappointing pack 3, though. There's nothing in the pack for us. We just take the other Cathar here. Pretty happy about it, to be honest. That puts us at 23. Oh, God. I guess Invasive Species is the only card that's in our color. Because Meditation Puzzle isn't a real card. Covenant of Blood, we could just cut, but it's actually not that good against us, so... That was miserable. That was the worst pack 3 ever. The deck's still not bad. What are we on? 23 and 13 is what? 36 picks? So there's still 2 packs I haven't seen. We could still very possibly get a Sanctified Charge. Those goes later than they probably should, to be honest. But still, that is definitely a disappointing pack 3. Sorry, my chair's squeaky. Remember, we have to keep an eye out here. If there's nothing good for us in the pack, we can take an Evolving Wilds, chuck it, and an island in the deck to make our Dauntless River Marshal a lot better. Might not even be worth it, to be honest, though. Ding! Beautiful. Get in. Now we're in much better shape. I wouldn't mind this. Actually, probably not in our deck. Wouldn't mind this, but I'm not saying no to that Sanctified Charge. That is perfect. At this point, I think I'm going to cut this River Marshal. We don't need any of these. We don't need either of these 2 drops. We're fine on 2 drops. We can take this Naturalized to have for the board. Even though we do have a Reclamation Sage. If they play a Spectral Ward or a Haunted Plate Mail or something, I guess I'll take this as well. We're going to have sick tech against Artifact or Enchantments. Yeah, if they play like the Artifact deck, we're going to have a good time. Okay, now that second Sanctified Charge really makes this deck pop. It's still not amazing. These 2 Griffins are pretty good with it because they had just not. I mean, they get double first strike, which is relevant, but they just hit for 4 in the air. I guess we could run the Legacy. We're not going to though. It's obviously great with all of these white creatures that we have. Maybe not the Wall of Essence. Guys to the Moors hits for 5 power of first strike with it. I forgot we had that guy. I'll take another Rhino. Probably not going to run it. Guess we cut this Wall of Fire. It's the closest thing to a real card. Belligerent Sliver is actually playable. Take the foil. Up. Up. Yep. Let's get those lands out of there. Where'd they go? Oh. Okay, so we've built a reasonable green-white Convoke deck. It's not the nutso version, but it's definitely not terrible. It's definitely capable of winning games. Let's pull out our creatures. Let's put back the spells that are in fact creatures. So we probably aim to cast that there, aim to cast these there, aim to cast that there as well. That gives us a pretty aggressive curve, to be perfectly honest. Which is great, because we just curve out, then dump some Sanctified Charges, maybe use one of these to force through some damage, and that should win us the game. I could see running into Shaman here, or another Charging Rhino, but because we have 17, 18, 19 creatures, I think we're going to get more value out of these things. I'll be happy to side out the Pillar of Light if needed. Okay, so how many green spells do we have? 1 double green. That's it. It's a 5-drop, so we can happily go 10-7. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so drafted a green-white Convoke deck. Didn't get nearly as many of these as we would have liked, or indeed as many of these. But the deck seems fine. I'm pleased with it, and hopefully it'll do well. So we'll see how it pans out in round 1.